All right, everybody ready?
Ready? Yes, sir.
Kaylon's not coming? You done? Okay. I want to welcome everybody to the May 17th, 2022 meeting. The official time's 6 o'clock. If I could get approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor, aye? Aye. Ms. Small, I understand you're going to open us up. We sure appreciate you very much.
My pleasure. Let's pray. Lord, I just thank you for the opportunity to come tonight to lift up our commissioners, God, and the decisions that they have to make tonight, God. I ask that your blessings would be upon each one of them. I especially am so thankful tonight to hear that Wendy's husband, Chris, is home now. And God, we just pray your richest blessings over him as he recovers. God, I just thank you for the health of each one of these people that's around the table. And God, we just ask you to continue to watch over them and guide them in every decision that they make. Father, we know that they're here for their community, and we know that the decisions that they have to make, they want to make in the best interest of everyone involved. So God, I just thank you for them. I ask you to guide them and direct them in everything that they do and say tonight. Father, let everything be glorifying to your kingdom, God. We pray these things in your precious and holy name. Amen. Amen. Let's say the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Miss Chris, hold on a minute. I got you.
Keep stuff in the version. I like just keep sheets. I don't think so. There's nothing controversial on there. The sheriff's not gonna be here. Okay. Yeah, we'll go.
All right, we're going to move on to board appointments. We got the Preservation Committee Board. Has anybody had an opportunity to reach out, or
I have.
you have? All right.
I have Aubrey Newby that has agreed to serve on the board.
Have we got any,
I have one as well, Chairman. Steve Saunders. Spoken with him. He's agreed to serve on the board.
all right,
Right. Now I have Miss Earlene Hamilton who would like to serve on the board also.
okay. That means we got two more positions. I got to get busy, don't I?
2 more positions.
Okay.
But we haven't actually changed the ordinance yet. So the two, Miss Earlene's on it right now.
Right.
So if y'all want to vote in the 2 new ones, and then once we expand it to 5, then,
Sure.
yeah, you'll need
Okay.
to kick in gear.
So do we make the nominations, send out the applications and approve them, or do we approve them based off of verbal
Verbal
commitments?
commitments.
That'll be fine.
Make a motion, Chairman, make a motion to approve the 2 nominations pending the applications received.
3.
2, we've got ones already.
Oh,
board
that's
I didn't know
right.
if we need to reappoint Miss Earlene.
We got a second?
Okay, maybe when they change the ordinance.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Okay, that's great. All right, move on to consent agenda and approval for minutes. We had a work session on May 3rd along with the first Tuesday, an executive session, call meeting on the 6th, and an executive session after that. If y'all had an opportunity to look at the minutes, I entertain a motion.
Motion to approve, Chairman.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Let's have it. All right, Will? Miss Hadley, you gonna come? Oh, okay, I see. You were hiding back there, Will. Y'all have, IT position you wanna talk about?
Yes, sir.
Y'all back there hiding.
So I talked to you guys about, potentially getting another IT person, sometime in the near future, around, I guess it was budget time. And so Marion had approached me and, and said that, she really could use some help, as far as, machine help, setting up machines during, I guess during the election cycles or, early elections. Maybe you can
Yes,
expand on it.
Where I come in on this is right now, we are paying Dominion Voting Systems $6,500 every election. and that is for a technician to come in 4 days. If we could do this in-house, this $6,500 per election could go toward this person's salary. I wouldn't expect a new person to be totally ready, possibly not by November, to take over the equipment and the contract, or no contract with Dominion. But I think it would save Jones County, I know it would save Jones County a lot of money to get out from up under what we have now
That's per election cycle, is that?
per election.
Per election, so like.
4
primary-
elections this year
Okay.
will be 6,500 times 4.
Wow,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a lot of money.
yeah, wow.
I would love to see it done in-house. I think maybe the first election or two, shadow our technician that we pay for. The Center of Elections and at the Secretary of State's office is bringing a training center to Macon. That way it's more centralized. We can get this person trained in Macon and then let this person take over the programming of the equipment, possibly help me train some poll workers on it. Just whatever we currently pay this technician to do.
Can we come up with a budget amount on that, or?
No, not at this time. In fact, we haven't even really come up with a percentage like of, I guess, who he would, or who he or she would be with, you know. Would they be with IT, would it be like an 80-20 split, 75, 25 split? So we hadn't really hashed that out.
No.
Yeah, we just wanted to come before you and just get permission to move forward with, I guess, researching it.
I got a question. If more space becomes available for your department, would it have to be certified every election? Do the
Yes,
machines
everything
have to?
has be
Okay.
certified before every election. And then on election,
But could you set them up and leave them set up?
yes, but
If
they
you
still
have
have
the
to be
space.
programmed and
Certified
tested.
every.
And by the time we get our database to do that, I'm already over my head in absentee ballots. I honestly do not have the knowledge nor the time to do it, which is why I'm contracting it out. When we got this equipment, the training we received was horrible. And I'm just now beginning to understand the IT part of it. But now, like I said, at the time we get the database, I don't have the time to do it because I'm busy doing other duties.
I like the idea of having a dual purpose, because, I mean, IT is full-time, but, the elections part of it is necessary when it's necessary, but it's not always wide open, so I think that's good use of resources.
You wanna do the motion then?
Well, let's see, so the motion, well, they're just looking for direction to move forward and bring
Let's
something
do
back,
that
right?
motion, in a motion,
A motion to do what?
to allow them to move forward on
All right, make a
Research.
motion to allow them to move forward.
I got this lady on my right, If I don't do this, she's gonna say, I want
But
you
are
to.
they gonna bring, they're
gonna
gonna
bring
bring you all
something back.
back
So,
A job description.
information?
Right.
I think,
Yeah.
Chairman, I recommend the chairman direct our county administrator
Oh, you just throw him under the bus now.
to let them bring things back to us.
And just postpone the vote?
Yeah, because we'd have to vote when they bring something back.
That's right.
So, yeah. My motion dies for lack of second, Chairman.
However you want to do, as long as I just don't get fussed at right here on the
He's
right.
just jealous.
That's right.
He's just jealous.
See, I
So
can't
you
think
all
straight,
gather
Chairman, with that.
information and get that back to Jason?
Sure.
Okay.
And then let's have a motion to postpone this to another meeting when they bring you back some
We're gonna need
information.
something out of it.
I can't think straight, Chairman. That thing's just,
The trophy's blinding you.
that's right, it's bothering me. Make a motion, Chairman, to postpone the IT position discussion.
Second.
I was hoping you were gonna second. since
I did.
you- All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Ms. Wagner, you've got an increase of certifications?
Yeah. So, Jason sent out, an email to the department heads asking, for them, to return a spreadsheet with the different certifications for their employees to be able to earn, more money. So I guess what, I'm asking for is, for you to set the percentage of what they can get and tell me the stages, like at the water department, there's different stages they can meet. Do they get that percentage for every stage they meet? What if the employee holds 2 job titles and they can get certified in 2 different areas? How do you want this to work?
Thoughts on that?
Everywhere I've seen is if it's a license or a certification, a state certification that's required for your job, it's usually 10% increase, but not a week-long course that you can take and
Right.
get a
Yeah,
certification ticket,
the-
or
the
a piece of
things-
paper that says, you don't get 10% for every one of those you get.
Right, the things that Jason, he's looking over now is to make sure that the training is, I know mine takes several years to
Right.
do. It can't just be a day-long seminar and you get a little piece of paper saying you did it, yeah. So he's gonna make sure of that.
And does that include maintaining that certification? Because I think we normally pay for continuing education, right?
Yes.
So that would make sure that they continue to keep up with their certification every year.
Mhm.
What do you think about, is it just a one-time deal for one particular certification, or would that, if they get one this year and 2 years from now, they want to pursue something else, do they get another 10% bump, or it's just a one-shot deal, or?
My thought would be if it pertains to their job duties, and I'll use water departments. If you have, a Class 1 water license and you have a Class 1 wastewater license, that's 2 different types of licenses altogether. To me, we would need both of those certifications to benefit the county. So if they had both of those, then they would get both of them, but.
Right. That's what I said, something
Yeah,
like
there's-
that.
it's- I mean, not many people want to get, certified as a clerk certification, a wastewater certification, and a water certification to keep getting 10%. So, but yeah, that's the way I see it, is if it pertains to the job and is required and benefits the county.
Do all departments have positions that can get certified into other things in their departments?
So that's one of the things I've kind of tasked the department heads with is, we want to, I think, we want to give all our employees sort of a pathway to get to that 10% and to better themselves. And so that's kind of what I've charged them with is, for all your positions, look and see what's out there in the way of training that would benefit us and benefit them in their professional development. So,
Because, I'm just thinking about Public Works. What kind of certifications is there for them to gather that's not just a week class? Because a lot of their things are just,
Well, you got CDL
was gonna say
certification,
that.
you
Yeah.
got APWA
Hazmat
certifications.
endorsements.
And
For
there's
fuel
stuff
truck.
through EPA.
okay.
and it may be in some situations where we have to group several things together. So
Right.
maybe it's not just one week class, but it's 6 or something like that, that we could kind of package them to get to the same place.
I'm just trying to not throw a wrench in it, but like CDL, if they went CDL with hazmat, that would be a plus. It's like running a fuel truck. You can't run our kind of fuel truck without hazmat.
Right.
So, I think I'm just thinking incorporating that, it's right there with you already.
Do y'all want a list of all the possible certifications from each department
Yeah, we could.
to help you make that decision?
Do we differentiate in salaried titles for CDL and non-CDL drivers?
I'd have to look at that one. I can't remember. Do you remember?
Because most of ours, there's a couple dollars difference in pay between
Yeah, that's.
having CDL and not having CDL. So that, we need to decide whether that's gonna be a dollar amount or a percentage amount.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, when somebody gets certified and then they leave, I mean, do we need to come up with a contract stating after you're certified, you have to stay for a certain amount of time?
Since we're paying for those.
What I've seen in the past is the cost that the county put into it. If they're not here for 2 years, if we put in $2,000 or $5,000 towards that certification and they don't stay 2 years, then they pay a prorated amount to buy out the service that we paid for. I think that's fair.
Anything else on this?
So the direction is to postpone this one and have Jason bring back the numbers and the
Different
correlated
certification.
Right.
positions.
All
All right, motion to postpone item number 2, increase for certification.
Second.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Uh,
All right, I'm a work session request. I'd like for the board to consider having our code enforcement and P&Z have a work session with them the second meeting of next month. Second, no,
Third Tuesday
third Tuesday.
of June.
Right, we've already got the first Tuesday. Are you gonna be here? Jason's already got the first meeting in June. You good? All right, we can have the second meeting in June, work session, 5 o'clock. That way we'll have an opportunity to have code enforcement and P&Z. Actually report in, give us some ideas where we're at and where we're going. If we got any some changes, at this point, since we have the second reading, there might be some stuff we need to look at. Board good with that? All right. Old business, we need to postpone, Sheriff Reese isn't able to be here tonight, so if we could get a motion to postpone one on old business.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
COLA discussion, Mr. Kitchen.
Yeah, Chairman, I know we've had employees talk to us about it. We've had, you can't read in the news, you can't watch the news now without seeing the proverbial price of beans in China. Everything is sky high right now, so it's affecting all of our employees, all of our staff, and their families, and the dollar just didn't go as far as it did. I know a couple of years ago, we've talked about how a couple of years ago we created or performed a salary study and to get us to market value. Just in the research that we've done since that 3 years ago, inflation has increased, the price of everything has increased, so our dollar value is back under where market value was 2 years ago. And I know we've, in my opinion, done a great job at doing what we promised with the 2% COLA and a 2% merit increase, voted on every year. But with the last 2 years of COVID and the way things are in the economy right now, in my opinion, it's still just not enough. We're not competing with the counties around us or the businesses around us. There are restaurants and businesses right here in Jones County that starting salary are more than our employees are starting at with a lot less credentials. So we can discuss it all day, Chairman, but I'm gonna make a motion that we make a salary adjustment of a 4% for all employees for this year, and then during our budget cycle for next year, maintain our normal discussions about 2% for COLA and 2% for merit increases. So I'm guessing contingency. I don't know where, my question is always, where's the money coming from? So I don't know. But that would be Jason, Levita, and I hope they don't shoot me before the night's over. But I would request that we look and see if we can't give a 4% across the board.
I like that.
Second.
I do,
Second.
quickly.
Effective immediately?
Yep.
Yep. Like that. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Great.
Thank y'all.
What? What I forget?
You're doing good.
I'm doing good. We're going, you see what time it is,
I know,
right?
that's why I said.
The
you're
mayor's,
right.
the mayor's behaving and my dad's behaving. I cannot believe this over
You better
there.
hurry.
Bert, you want to start us off tonight?
Sure. First of all, thank y'all for the 4%. Everybody's going to appreciate that. It's going to mean a lot. Just some news, good news highlights. We had a young man, Travis Miller, win the state championship in track last weekend in Jefferson. And we're real proud of him. He won the 100 meters, which is kind of like the granddaddy of them all for track. That's the one that everybody wants to win, all the kids look up to. That's the number that they post when they're talking college recruiting and all that sort of thing for football and everything else. So, there was about 30 agencies represented, and we did a good job, so proud about that. Another thing that's coming up is I've been contacted by the Chamber of Commerce, and the 4th of July celebration is a go. We're talking with them. One major concern that I have is in the past, evidently, Parks and Rec has been the ones responsible for shooting off the fireworks. And I think that moving forward, we should get someone that's licensed and insured to conduct the fireworks show. It's probably going to cost about $10,000 more, but I think that's a small price to pay to limit some of the liability that I think that puts on the county to have people that are untrained dealing with explosive devices and children around and everything else. We've identified at least one source that money could potentially come from, but it doesn't have to be the end-all be-all. That would be the Genesco Marketing and Sponsorship Fund. But so there is some money there that I'm told. But like I said, that doesn't have to be where it necessarily comes from. But I do think it would be a good idea for you guys to allow us to move forward with the 4th of July celebration, which is actually June 30th. But with a licensed and insured vendor that can put the show on. And so it's going to cost, like I said, about $10,000 more than previous years. But to limit our liability, I think it would be a good move. So, thoughts?
I talked with the person that I was telling you about that I knew that was local that did fireworks, and he is who fired them off last year.
Yeah.
He didn't buy them, but he
Yeah.
fired them off for y'all.
Yeah. Well. Okay.
But he said that he would send a quote in.
All right.
So June 30th, that's on
Thursday. It's on a Thursday. And the reason I would have waited a couple more weeks and got officially on the agenda, this is kind of a fast developing story for us. And vendors, some of them are getting booked up left and right, and they have to secure resources. I'm understanding that the tractor trailer trucks are really hard to come by right now, and they have to sometimes reserve those months in advance. So just looking for, I think,
Next meeting be all right?
huh?
Okay, all right.
All
We'll
right.
put it on next meeting. Thank
Thank
you.
y'all.
Is Tiffany, you're in the back. I should have went ladies first, I'm sorry.
Just want to give you a little bit of update as far as some of the abandoned, dilapidated properties. Miss Ashley and I had gotten together at the beginning of the year to kind of look at our ordinances to make sure we're handling everything properly as far as getting a judge's order. I had 20 properties ready to go. Kept harassing folks, so now I'm only having to go after 6. But there will be more coming up in the future, but we've already gotten ready and fixing to go to court and ask for some.
Great.
Very good.
Randy? You good?
Yeah, thank y'all.
Mr. Mayor?
Hey, Mr. Chairman, how you doing tonight?
Y'all have behaved yourself
Great,
tonight.
great.
Thank you.
All right, the spirit of Cedar County cooperation. Jack's is open, Track Supply open this week. I went to Track Supply and there's a nice crowd up there. And y'all, if you've been by Taco Bell, they putting that sucker up fast and Horton Home building.
Quick.
Quick.
Yeah.
So, ching ching, sales tax. Y'all get your share. Butler Hall, we had a report last night, our meeting from DDA. Just going along good. We're getting good, comments. We got people from all the surrounding counties just talking to DDA about booking events there. So as part of that, the city, we approved last night for additional street lights and security lights at the parking lot and there on Ross Street so people feel safe when they're in the area taking advantage, not only Butler Hall, but, Chevys, Ben Axle, people, get stuck at night at the courthouse with some of these long trials, whatever, so they'll feel safe. They're also in the process of getting the parking lot paved, so that's another thing. Gateway Shopping Center, I don't know if y'all, and the Gateway's where Harvey's is, I don't know what the name of the one where AutoZone is, but either way, both of those getting new facelift paint jobs. And of course, the one over at Vance, it had a new resurfacing, and it really looks nice. So we're really sprucing up, getting downtown spruced up. We got a developer that's going to be at our June meeting for a zoning change. Wants to build a 43-lot housing development here in the city. It's going to be single family, so that'll help with some of the housing shortages for the people that families that are looking for houses, not people that want apartments, but for the regular working folks. Plus, there again, they're going to have to pay them taxes. So, so like I say, we're moving along, and like I say, as you go through, you see the changes. I just got back from a convention in Atlanta this past weekend. I was up in Alpharetta, Marine Corps League convention, and we had people there. They said, "Man, I can't believe it." So I came through Gray the other day. So it's been about 4 or 5 years. So I can't believe how much downtown Gray's changed. I did. We've got a new Main Street manager. It's a full-time position with the city now. She's in the process of getting some stuff done, help spruce up. So we're in the process of getting it going, and everybody knows it's a two-way street. What benefits the city, benefits the county, and vice versa. So thank you for allowing me.
Thank you. Mr. Risner?
I don't have any.
Attorney have anything tonight? HR? How about any citizens? I got one behind you first. Miss George, you can come on.
Shock you.
I know who you are.
I realize the
Make for the record, we know
George,
name and address.
George Scoville, Confederate Drive, Macon, Georgia. It doesn't take rocket scientists to figure out the cost of living these days. And I got my tax state calculations yesterday, and I told my wife, I said, I'm amazed our taxes hadn't gone up, but it probably will next year. And I'm just going to tell y'all, if you got to raise them, or whoever's concerned about who's ever involved in that, I guess y'all have an input in it. I realize I'm going to say that, yes, go for it, because I've listened to Travis talk about the sheriff's department cars, the cost of that. We know what diesel fuel is costing to run school buses. So, like I'm saying, you got my approval to raise our taxes in this county. Mine have been so good for so long, but we all have got to face reality. So,
Don't listen to him about raising their taxes.
you get the point. That's
So far, so good. We're holding the road, so far, so good.
I'm Frank Duke with the Black Committee. I do feel y'all's pain. We y'all have worked hard on Blight. We have worked hard on Blight. We've got a great group. We've had a good many members that come and go, but I think we've got there. We've got the action plan, and it's there for y'all. But we can't do anything else other than work with y'all on seeing this through with Blight trash in this county. But whenever it's appropriate, we do have a lot of questions. I know we were promised on January the 18th that that we would be shown this Text My Gov deal. I think most of us have figured it out, but we you know, we need to convey that to our citizens in the county, that, where they know how to use this thing. We found out anonymous is not anonymous. You know, that y'all allowed that to happen. Your phone number shows on TextMyGov, whether it's home phone, cell phone, whatever. And there are people that will not turn it in. You know, they'll turn in anonymous, but if they know that their phone number is there, that's exposing it. And I've got a jump drive, good many pictures I'd like to show y'all at the appropriate time that our committee's worked hard on. We've in fact, I've asked y'all about, you know, getting the records where we could go back and take more pictures of different blighted areas back, and we were turned down on that, but we can work around that. I want y'all to see that. A lot of things there. February the 15th meeting, we talked about the blight remediation action plan, and the county administrator was to start with a group of county employees, as I understand, and volunteers to work on that. We need to know what the status on that is. It's just so many things that are out there that we can move forward on. We can find some common ground, but I'm telling you, if our front door, they were up here earlier. I was on the asking for the development authority. I was on the development authority for about 12 years, and I can tell you, your front door to your community, it means a lot. When anybody comes into this community and they've got to come in on 129 and look at all the junk cars, all of that they're pulling out of Macon, 95% of it is they're junk cars from Bibb County. I don't know the process. They cross the street the same way, all the way through. You go out and one more thing, and I'll sit down. You go out to Haddock. You leave Gray here. You get between here and Haddock. There's right at 50 cars, junk cars, been there for years. You know, all over. You could see them good during the winter. You can see them. You can't see them all now. They're pulling them in out there, right and left. You go on down to Cherokee Products. How many of y'all remember when Cherokee Products was sold? There was a group that bought that property, and they They came up here, and they were wanting to put I believe it was they were going to burn some medical waste out there, and they were going to do several things. Well, I think planning and zoning approved that, and the will of the people out there said, no, you can't. You're not going to burn medical waste or whatever. You're burning bodies right here in town, you know, at the funeral home. But to finish my story there was a LLC, as the bankruptcy court had it for years, for a number of years. And in the meantime, I would imagine all the copper wire and everything out there has been stripped out. LLC bought it out of Plainview, Texas, Channelview, Texas, right out of Houston. A big corporation is sitting there in disarray. And are we going to go after them? You know, that's something we need to think about. That's a prime example right there of how blight can take over this community. Bibb County is, and Sam's probably more familiar with than I am. Bibb County, I think is enacted a plan to where they're getting rid of any vehicles that can be seen from the public street. They got so many days to get them out. Where do you think they're coming? The sheriff's department will tell you about going over behind on 49. You know, they brought it out there, you know, from Bibb County. So those are the things that we'd like to get with you and discuss, and be a part of. And I will say, I hope you get from planning and zoning, because P&Z from the get-go elected not to be a part of this blight committee. So we were looking for answers. We were looking for feedback. And we just need everybody's
We're
input.
having a work session.
Are we included in that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a public work session. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
y'all share it with us.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Frank. Thank you.
Anyone else tonight?
Just one quick addition. Y'all know the sewage treatment plant is under construction. So it's no longer a vision.
We saw it on the news.
What did I say?
I saw it in the paper.
Either way. Put this out.
Literally.
No, we can get the machines out there.
It's in their backyard.
Commissioner Vaughn, you want to ladies first and start us off tonight?
Me and my trophy are finally glad to be here tonight. Be quiet over there, District 1. I mean, yeah. I'm thankful to be back. I've been gone for a few meetings. I have been in on the phone, and I was on the phone for the last meeting until I found out my husband was in the hospital. So, thank you for the prayers. He is home. We'll see if we can keep him well. If you haven't been by our transportation office, we've got a beautiful parking lot that's being finished there that we're very excited about. And our sign out there, explains that it's part of the SPLOST money that we get into education. So thank every one of the taxpayers for helping us move forward there. And I just want to follow up with something that me and my father-in-law talked about at the hospital the last couple of days. And he happens to live in Bibb County, and he lives off Brookdale. If any of you have ever been down Brookdale, you know it is not a good area now, but their property opens up into family farmland that's at the dead end down there. And the one thing that he commented on is how clean Jones County is compared to where he is. How there's not, every day in the cul-de-sac that he has to turn into his driveway, there's more trash that's dumped. There's cars that have been set on fire at the cul-de-sac. And nothing that they can do has got that changed any. So that's one thing. People from the outside do see the change that is happening. So I want you to know that, the Blight Committee, that people do notice the changes that we have made. Winning this trophy was great, and I'm not just trying to rub that into Sam's face over there, but I got 100 students involved with picking up trash, and every one of them made the comment, boy, we got some dirty people that throw stuff that they don't need to out their windows. So if each one of those kids go home and teach their parents, don't let that window down and throw your trash out of it, we're one step closer. And that's what I said from the beginning. We've got to start educating the kids to get to the parents. We live in a society where you don't take pride in what your yard looks like anymore. They don't know. They don't know to get off that cell phone or that game system and go outside and clean up their yard and pick up their trash. Because their parents go to work and they come home and that's the same thing they do. So I hope that we can continue to educate the kids to help educate their parents. So, that's all.
Commissioner Wood?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To our employees, we are working hard to get you the resources and the pay and the benefits that you desperately need, because we want to retain you and recruit new employees to fill these vacancies, because we do have work in this county that needs to be completed, and it's hard to do with the vacancies we have. To the Blight Committee, we thank y'all for your work, and it's time for the work session to see what progress has been made and see if we have any shortcomings and move on making those complete. And we do have some challenges, and we're trying to work through all those in this community and make it better for everyone.
Mr. Chairman, I echo everything that Wendy said. As much as we joke around about me being a sore loser and her not playing the game exactly like we talked about playing and all that, in all honesty, nobody lost. We picked up, we had 150 plus people out picking up. We had sponsors, we had community support, we had the support of our citizens and our school district, and for everything that we picked up and everything that we did on that day, there were no losers. So, I mean, it was, I was glad to see it. I can joke all day long, but I was glad to see her bring that many people to the table. So, proud of you, happy for you, and
He made me cry too, y'all.
next year it's not going to be the same. So,
He made me cry writing a note to me that he was telling me was all of his excuses, and then when I read it, it wasn't excuses. He was thanking me for. He made me cry.
well, in that vein, my 8-year-old granddaughter was helping me pick up that morning. She may have slowed me down. I'm going to have to cut her from the herd next year. But she's slowing me down. But she did say, Papa, who does this? Who throws this stuff out? That's just sorry. She has no filter, so that's just sorry that people. And I said, you're right, babe. So you tell everybody you know. You don't do that.
Right.
But in all seriousness, Chairman, there is one thing I want to address. We got a letter at the last meeting from concerned citizens about we had partnered with the War Days and allowing them to use some golf carts based on the economic benefits we had as a county. And the letter was they were kind of surprised that we didn't allow the Veterans Association, that this board had voted not to allow the veterans to use the golf carts in the past. That really concerned me. I don't know of anybody that supports the veterans more in their heart than I do, since my dad, my granddaddy's on both sides, and all brothers. Big fight between Army and Navy because, you know, they're back and forth because they were every one of them are veterans, and there's so much respect for what the veterans have done and the freedoms we have because of them. That really bothered me. Shannon went back and looked, and as far as we can tell, there's never been a vote by this board not to allow something like that. So if there was a decision made at a department level, it was not made by this board. I can promise you it would not have been supported by this board. And I don't know how we got there, because as far as I know, we've never been approached. I honestly thought they were using our golf carts in the past. And so that's something that I want us to reach out to the Veterans Association. If there's not a contract with us or some kind of agreement with the Veterans Association, I want them and I want the public to know that this, and I'll speak on behalf of the board one of the few times, because I've spoken to every one of y'all, and there's nobody on this board that doesn't support the veterans and what they've done for us and continue to do for us. So,
We can I address that issue?
Yep, go ahead.
Just briefly, thank you, sir, for bringing that up. Until, the Veterans Appreciation Committee, we activated in 2001. It's going on 22 years, and we've honored our veterans in Jones County. And for until 2015, I believe, 2016, I don't think any of y'all were on this board. We always go out and Merle, get them, and no problem. And I have received word, and I knew that Jonathan Pitts, one of the commissioners, when that came up, I went out to get them, get the 4 cars, and he said he couldn't, they could no longer do it. Merle couldn't do it. I had to see the recreation director, called him, said no. I called Jonathan Pitts, and he said yes, that was the commission's.
So that was prior to you and I.
So,
but we went back to 2015.
I just want to clear that, I'm not sure about it.
It won't happen again.
Okay.
Yeah, it won't happen again.
Mr. Chairman, if we need to put it on the agenda, maybe the next meeting, go ahead and do it
You can do
prior
that.
to Veterans Day.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and have a discussion and have a vote to support.
That way you got,
Can we
Reach out to the
probably
Veterans
need to
Association.
see too, like what they need
Right.
and,
So,
I mean,
can,
it can't. Well,
Be some criteria.
yes.
Yeah.
It can't just be like, you know.
yeah, we need to
open-
reach out
we
to
put
the,
it,
Yes.
we put it on the agenda and have all the information we need.
That's right.
If, I guess the precedent you're gonna see it, and we don't have a problem with veterans, we've got private cars, we may need it again. The precedent you're gonna see it is if Old Clinton gets them, and then somebody that you don't, some organization that I won't call the names come in, so we want full golf
It-
cars.
And that's my concern.
Right.
So you're gonna set a precedent, so you
right,
have to be-
and
that
when,
year, we had to get busy and find 4 golf carts because we have a number of veterans that have to have a golf cart. But we've run for 21 years and we haven't shut down at all. I mean, we've been consecutive for 21 years that we've honored our veterans on that day, and we send out over 250 invitations to veterans that have signed up.
Right.
And we have a very active program for them.
yeah, you do, it's an awesome.
But I just said, you're gonna set a precedent.
Well, the precedence, I mean, I don't think it's a precedence because we're partnering with organizations that provide support from and to the county, and there's an economic value to us. I mean, the number of people that are increased in Jones County on that day is a value to us. The number of people that are increased on war days, that's an economic benefit to the tax base of Jones County. So those are the type of nonprofit organizations that I feel like we gladly partner with, and that's the partnership. So it's not we offer free golf carts to everybody that needs them. That's not how it works.
Basically, a case by case,
But there's a partnership and an agreement that needs to be made. These organizations have to have value for us to be able to offer that value, in my opinion. I mean, but I think each one of them need to have a legal opinion on them that they're a viable between the county and the.
We can't run afoul of the gratuities clause, so it
Right.
needs to be evaluated.
we can do that next meeting, discuss it.
I don't know how you just discuss it though unless,
Well, we
You
can't
know
do
what I
it,
mean?
we can't do it right now, because we're,
no, I-
Make it a work session.
yeah, perhaps,
we'll have to do
Mayor?
that, be one of the,
for some criteria.
all right.
You're already making noise in the neighborhood. Stop.
There's a hand up.
Ethan,
You're on the Veterans Committee.
Hey, I got a city golf cart.
Chuck,
And, the one thing to
Come-
think about when you're discussing it too is, if you're gonna limit it to golf carts, what if an organization said, we need 30 tables too, or would it all be together, or is it just the golf carts?
That's what I'm saying, it needs much more thought
a
than
minimum rental.
just.
Work
let's just-
session.
Yeah.
Chuck, you wanna, come on.
No, that's all right. I've got one that I had from my wife, and I don't have her anymore, so y'all more than welcome, the veterans are more than welcome to borrow it anytime they want.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Is there anything else, Commissioner Kitchen?
No, sir.
I make a motion to adjourn said meeting.
Take it.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank y'all.